What's going on, people? So today, listen, I'm going to talk about something that happened back in 2018. Back in 2018, I was going for a bad time. I was fighting for custody of my son. The courts kept throwing my case out, and social service workers just kept listening to bullshit that was just getting brought up, and seeing me on paper as a criminal, as a druggie. They didn't want to hear my side of events, and this led me to go on and do what I'm about to tell you. So I was driving. I had a driving license, and I went out to the pub. Went out to the pub this day. I had X amount of pints. I was over the limit. I was well over the limit. I was living in Somerset, and I took to the roads. I had passengers on board. I'm not going to name these passengers. There's no need to name these passengers. I've been convicted of all the offences I'm about to talk about, and I've done the time for all the offences I'm about to talk about. But there's a point and there's a method behind my madness, and a reason why I'm bringing this stuff up and educating people as to right and wrong ways of dealing with things and not using drink and drugs to mask problems. I went to the pub. I had X amount of pints, as I said. I jumped in my car. As I got close to home, as they always say, it always happens when you get close to home, I hit the last roundabout before I turn left into my house. And what comes behind me? Blue lights. What do blue lights mean? They mean put your foot down and fucking go. That's exactly what I did. And I took them on a fucking mad goose chase. 3 different police forces, about 20, maybe 30 patrol cars, armed response, everything was involved in this chase. I dangerously overtook vehicles on the wrong side of the road, hitting speeds of over 115 miles an hour. I went wrong way around roundabouts. The police had roadblocks. I was smashing the police out the way. The police were just spinning for fun. I was ramming police cars. I had no reason to really stop. I didn't want to stop. It was fight or flight. And I was going to win that day. I was going to get away. As I got close to where I was headed towards my mum's house. And why, I don't know. But I hit a blind bridge. And on the blind bridge was a car coming. I just narrowly missed it by a very few inches. And I managed to lose the police. I had a BMW X5 up my ass, 3.5 litre. I was in a 1 litre Ford Focus. How I lost them is beyond me. And I did. I lost them. I dumped the car. I left the passengers in the car. And I run and I hid inside my mother's house. Climbed into the loft. She didn't even know I was in the house. The back door was open. It was summertime. And I heard helicopters. I heard dogs barking. I was laid there, shivering in the loft where I climbed in to hide. As I'd run through the kitchen, I grabbed some pieces of bread and I was sat there nibbling it like a little mouse. Knowing it would sober me up, should I say. I was hid there for what felt like about an hour. Police searched the house. They did open the loft. They looked in the loft. They didn't find me. I thought, I've done it again. I got away again. I just moved to that little tiny inch. My legs were dead. They were dead. And the house, some of the paint work off the roof of my mum's house, where the copper was stood below. And that's a polite word to call them, copper, because I don't like the police and I never will. They were just below, and the ceiling fell off on top of the copper's head. They came up, they dragged me out, and the police won. I was put into a court where the courts had no choice but to remand me. I was remanded into prison, and it's serving 5 months in jail. Laid on my back, where it gave me time to think and adjust and really contemplate what I'd done. I was making wrong decisions, I was battling with what I feel is the biggest and horriblest thing of my life, trying to get my son into safety and custody with me, into safe living with me, full custody with me. And I kept giving up, and I kept turning to this shit. Other than just sticking to the drawing board and keeping my head down, I was using drink and drugs to try and mask what was really going on. And this is the wrong way, people. It is the wrong way. Alcohol and drugs is never, ever going to help. There's a saying they say, and it's one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. And this was the lifestyle I was living. I was spending hours in pubs just driving, not giving a fuck. Not giving a fuck. I could have killed someone that day. I could have hurt someone that day. And I could have hurt myself. Anybody that was involved in that crash, that witnessed anything that, you know, could have jeopardized their life, I want to publicly apologise to. You know, I'm aware that this police station chase went on through 3 different towns, wasted loads of police time. You know, but I have done the time for it. And it made me a better person. I've come out and been out of jail now for 6 years. I want people to use my life experiences, my unfortunate bullshit I've been through in my life, to really sit and wonder, is it really worth it, you know? Is there ways that we can deal with things that doesn't involve turning to a bottle, sitting in a pub, putting coke up your nose, you know, turning to this devil shit? I plead with anybody to take the right channels and seriously try and gain hope and encouragement from family members around you, from friends that want the best from you, you know. Situations arise and we're always going to find ourselves in shit fucking circumstances, in horrible situations that we feel like we haven't got a way out. Well, there's so many organisations set up nowadays, so much help and support around us that we're not engaging with. I'm going to post some links below this post, and I want people to engage with them. I'm actually walking around the perimeter of the prison now, trying to show people this is where you might end up tomorrow if you make the wrong choice today. I never knew. I didn't have a fucking clue when I went to the pub that day that I would wake up the next morning, laid on my back in this fucking shithole. And trust me, people, it's not a nice place to be. HMP Bristol, goodbye forever. Don't end up in this shithole. Don't end up here tomorrow. Make the right choices, people. Remember, we only live once. And as I walk away from that prison, I know, hands down, I will never, ever, ever walk back into these places again. And I take my unfortunate circumstances and unfortunate shit that I've led in life as a learning curve, and make it just that, a learning curve, and make sure my son will never, ever, ever make the same mistakes I did. I can assure you all, had I have not been on drink and drugs that day, I would have pulled over that car for them police. I would have pulled over that car because I'd have had no reason not to. Drink and drugs fucking ruined my life, and I don't want it to ruin yours. Don't wake up in there tomorrow